Good morning. When Dave asked me to share my testimony on God's faithfulness, I was a little bit hesitant because always when you share on God's faithfulness, generally you have to share on the pain that caused you to realize God's faithfulness. In 2003, Dave and I, with 3 young boys, moved up to Indianapolis, Indiana to plant a church. We were very excited. We were doing it with some of our most beloved friends and with a ministry that we were a part of. We get to Indiana, after 4 years, it was just a very shaking time. And to make it a short story, the church plant came to an end for us, and we ended up removing ourselves from that situation. And it was like a death for me. My heart was broken. Some of my closest friendships were breached, and I honestly didn't know if I wanted to do church anymore. There's only one other time that I've cried as deeply as I cried the night that the decision was made to not go back to that church, and it was when my brother Tracy died. And it was deep, it was sorrowful, it was, when you read the Psalms, David crying out, that was me. God, why? God, why? God, why? And so we took a few months off to gather our thoughts and just see what we were going to do in the next season of life. And we knew we wanted to be a part of a local church. We had enrolled our children in a small Christian school at the time, and someone at the school had invited us to attend the church that sponsored the school. And so we said yes. We didn't know where else to go at that point. And so we went to Traders Point Christian Church in the fall of 2007 and never visited another church. We loved it. We grafted right in. Our children became a part of the children's ministry and the youth ministry there, and it was just incredible. And a few months after that, they offered a job to Dave to be their outreach pastor. And quite honestly, I didn't know if I wanted to be a part of ministry at that point anymore. But Dave and I prayed, and God showed us that that was what he had for us in this next season. And so we became part of the staff. I ended up leading a dance ministry at Traders Point, and the fitness ministry, and Dave's role grew, and the church expanded and grew, and it was just an amazing time. But there were so many wounds and places where Dave and I needed healing that we were still not trusting of people. And God put us in that place to take us to a point where healing would happen, where promotion would happen, where we would learn good church governance, where we would see our children flourish and come into their faith. And so as painful as it was, Dave and I would have never left the place that we were if God had not closed every door. And we can look back and see that in the midst of the pain and in the midst of human people, God is moving, and he has a direction and a path and something for our life that we cannot necessarily see at the time. But he is there, he is in control, and he is working. I'm so thankful now for that time and for those hurts and for that pain. It has made me more compassionate for people, more patient with myself, more loving to my husband and the call that God has on his life and our family's life. So we are excited to be here at Renovate. We are celebrating our anniversary of moving back to Texas this weekend. Woo! Love you all.